Well, good morning, Facebook community. Alejandro Tornato here, coming directly from Beaufort, Georgia. It's a beautiful, sunny Sunday morning. It is 12 o'clock noon, and I apologize for the delay. Normally, I do my transformational mentoring Sunday editions, which are the quote of the week. And I start at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. But today I'm running a little bit late. I apologize. I am sorry for it. But next week we'll get back to the usual time of 11 a.m. And I want to welcome all of you to Transformational Mentoring Sunday edition, the quote of the week. Are you ready for another quote? And this is a quote that comes from, and I hope I pronounce his name correctly. Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh. And he was a Zen master. He was a global spiritual leader, a poet, and a peace activist. And what Hanh says in this quote is the following: there is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. There is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way. Now, what about you? When it comes to talking about happiness, what are your thoughts? What do you think happiness really is? What does happiness truly mean to you? I can tell you what it means to me. You know, there was a time in my life when I thought, and that was for quite a long time, I thought that happiness in life was achieved when you achieved a certain reputation, when you achieved a lot of the accumulation of a lot of things, material things, not necessarily huge things. I'm not talking about perhaps houses and boats and cars and vacation homes and nothing like that, but in the accumulation of things, perhaps a lot of clothes that perhaps after a while you don't even wear, but you got them hanging in the closet. And I thought that the accumulation of things was something that it was at least a vehicle to get closer or to attain happiness. For some people, that's what happiness is all about, is getting more and more and more and more and more. And there's never enough, even if they don't use it. But they have it. And they think that in that act of accumulating, they're going to find happiness. And let's equate that with this quote. There is no way to happiness. No matter what we do in life, no matter the successes, you could be an ultra successful individual and still lack happiness in you, in your life. You could be the wealthiest person who ever lived in this world, who ever walked in this world, and yet be the most miserable person that ever lived here as well. So one thing doesn't equate to the other. So things do not equate to happiness. Now, reputation, fame, you engage in doing all kinds of things. And there are people who obtain very high levels of recognition because of great things that they do. And I'm not against of anybody reaching higher levels of fame and recognition. As a matter of fact, we are, but I don't know what religious doctrine you follow, if any. What is your thinking about religiosity or perhaps spirituality? But as spiritual beings, I mean, we live in three different planes: in the intellectual plane, in the physical plane, and in the emotional, spiritual plane. And so we, as spiritual beings, just for the sake of being spiritual beings, created spiritual beings, then our tendency is to do more, be more, and have more in life, and never be satisfied. However, that dissatisfaction is not equated, to the degree of happiness that we may have. So, in a sense, you could be the wealthiest in the world. You could have reached the highest and highest of levels of recognition and fame and notoriety for things that you have done, for great contributions and positive contributions that you have made in the world. Perhaps you obtained a Nobel Prize, whether a Nobel Peace Prize or a Nobel Prize in chemistry or in physics or in medicine or in economics, whatever it may be, and you have been recognized at that high level of achievement. But I can tell you that none of those external things that happened to you, none of those recognitions that are put upon you, none of that wealth that you've accumulated that is in your life, none of those things can make you an ounce happier than you already were. And the reason is, let's look at this quote again. There is no way to happiness. We cannot find a way no matter where we go, we cannot find a way, a pathway to happiness. Happiness can never be achieved by looking and following a particular pathway. Happiness is the way. You see, we are not moving ourselves towards happiness. Happiness is already here. Happiness is already within each one of us. Happiness is an attitude. Your attitude. Happiness is a state of mind and a state of being. Yours, mine, state of mind and state of being. You see, you don't have to be a Zen master and perhaps spend many hours a day in isolation, meditating, thinking, reflecting on the origins of the universe. And no. You don't have to do that to get into a state of happiness. So you don't have to be a Zen master to be happy. You don't have to be a president to be happy. You don't have to be a queen or a king to be happy. You don't have to be a millionaire to be happy. You don't have to be a billionaire to be happy. You can be a cashier at Walmart or Kmart. You can be a barista at Starbucks. And perhaps not earn thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and yet you can be happy. You can have that pure, unadulterated sense of happiness within you, no matter what happens on the outside. No matter what the conditions outside are, but inside there is a state, a pure state of happiness. So let me ask you, how have you lived your life up until now? Have you been a person who can say truthfully, I have happiness within me? You see, not only we have greatness within us, but we ought to have happiness within us no matter what happens, no matter where we are in life, no matter what the conditions are. Nothing of that sort matters. It's what's the attitude inside of us? What's the internal attitude that we have toward life, toward others, toward other people? Are we a source? I wake up every morning with a determination that I want to be a focus of contagion of happiness and vitality and energy and passion and enthusiasm in the lives of others. Because no matter what, if you appreciate life, if you are still breathing this beautiful air, if you can see out of the window the beautiful trees and the beautiful blue sky and the beautiful sun, if you had a chance like me today to wake up and to exercise and to feel good because there's another day and we can make an impact in the world, and we can make an impact in the lives of other people, and we can still grow as a human being, as a spiritual being. Now, when you look at your life, do you see more things, or do you see, let me ask you, when you look at life, does life itself make you happy? Bring you that level of happiness to you? If you do, I congratulate you, and I encourage you to be more and more mindful every day, not of the things that you have, not of the situations that you're in, not in the reputation or titles that you may have, but look at the attitude that you have every single day and see if there is true happiness from your heart, from the deepest place in your heart. Is there happiness that you can say, for me, there is no way to happiness, because happiness is not only the way, but happiness is my way. I thank you so very much. I loved to share this with all of you. It's been great. I want to wish you a great rest of this Sunday. Enjoy it. Live it with passion, enthusiasm, determination. Live it to the fullest. Remember, there is indeed greatness within you, and add to that a healthy dose of happiness. Thank you very much, and live every moment. Be resilient. Be kind. Be passionate. Be well.